Moving on to our corrections section. This is the moment of the show when we correct things that we've done wrong, Jeff, in the past.
Wait, are you implying that we've ever said anything wrong?
Even things that we think we might have done wrong is worth a correction. It tells the people listening that we care. And by I don't mean
You meant to say like, oh.
I'm absolutely positive our first correction is, this is the thing that I wanted to correct. Last week, Jeff, remember when I mentioned that guy that said that the podcast got him through Hurricane Sandy?
Yes.
To me, it sounded when I listened to it as if I was rolling my eyes when I described it a little bit. Do you remember what I'm talking about? When I listened back to it, to me it sounded as if I was mocking or ironic about how I appreciated the guy and how much he liked Harmontown and how he said it had gotten him through Hurricane Sandy. I had a certain patois in my voice. Our sarcastic patois. I said, at the end of it, I said, and it got him through Hurricane Sandy. And it sounded like my head was wiggling and my eyes were rolling. And that was absolutely not the intention. I was very flattered by this gentleman. I spoke with him in the parking lot. I had a wonderful time with him. So wherever you are, mister, whatever your name is, I love you. What's that? Someone say something? Of course not. This is a very structured show.
And so far, no stutters.
Yeah, and don't you think it's gotten more boring? And
No.
Less charming? Don't you trust me less?
No,
I sound like Walter Cronkite.
I actually think the show is the show is better when it's clearer and there's more articulation.
It's making me very nervous.
Well, what we've created is a balloon full of tension, and the moment you stutter, it's going to be a.
You're
big
letting
pain.
it out. You're like it's like a tantrum when you stutter.
Oh, that was almost.
Oh boy! All right.
It's almost.
Moving on to our next topic. Ah, yes.
Is this a topic where you go back in time and talk like somebody from the 1890s?
Well, this is how people talk when they're not stuttering. They talk like their words are scripted.
You're on thin ice. When you start riffing.
Jeff, I was very amused to have a Twitter exchange on Twitter today. In speaking about net neutrality, I threw out what I thought was a reasonable metaphor. I was trying to behoove people. God damn it. I was trying to get people to understand the importance of gatekeeping within media by using the example of pre-Lutheran, Vatican-endorsed Latin Bible.
To be quite honest, I haven't heard a thing you said since you weren't stuttering, because I'm trying to be the stutter cop right now.
Well, listen to what I'm saying, Jack.
Okay, all right. Jeff.
I reached in warning about the you made me do that. I said in warning to I had max headroom on the in warning because of what you said about counting my stutters. If I'm conscious of you counting my stutters, I'm going to stutter.
Okay, now I'm not. I let it go.
All right.
All I'm saying is that I have the song queued up. If you do stutter, there is a musical sting that might happen.
I might have to speak more slowly.
Well, take a breath.
Don't tell me what to do.
You see how good that felt and how good that sounded? Normally, don't tell me what to do.
When I start stuttering again, I'd like to talk about that impression and how hurtful it is. But right now, I'm cool as a cucumber and know everything I'm about to say, even before I say it.
What if you made it through the whole show and never stuttered?
It would be boring, is my prediction.
I see. I think not. I think
it would lose something. I think it would be like eating a boiled yam, as opposed to a fresh, crisp,
right out of the ground.
Everyone loves a dirty, raw, wonderful, earth-nurtured yam. Just with the bugs still on it. Yeah. Pull it out of the ground.
And asking the question, why did we ever boil yams? These things don't need our help.
This is a hate crime, boiling this yam. This thing was perfect. God wanted this in my mouth. I can't believe he grew it in the ground. Normal people say sometimes.
We're not going to call us or stutter. We're talking about the. Dan, I'm only going to bust you on, or not bust you. I'm only going to like throw the flag on the play
when it goes off the rails.
When you go like, also I do that too.
All right.
Someone just laughed like that. Guys, laugh as a stutter.
Okay, what were we talking about? Could you please remind me?
Bible.
Net neutrality? Latin Bibles, net neutrality. Thank you very much, you scattered people. It must be strange to be so unfocused. I bet you wish you could speak publicly. Anyhow, speaking about net neutrality on Twitter today, I used that metaphor for the dangers of gatekeeping in society. Remember when Bibles were only in Latin? Poor people couldn't know Latin. You had to access God through another class of people. I didn't think anybody thought that that was ever a good thing. This guy took exception to my comments, which I found amazing.
Which guy?
This guy. Just a guy. I mean, I have 250,000 followers. You'd expect that if I talked about...
Braggle brag.
Excuse me, sir. My intention was not,
what do you mean,
not
which?
to hurt your feelings.
What do you mean, which guy?
Believe me, sir, the volume of my followership, it mitigates the quality of my life. It's a burden I bear. I'm not bragging, I'm complaining. If I were to talk about zebras...
Almost, by trying not to stammer, you get a little British.
I'm thinking about what I'm saying.
Maybe try.
To...
Maybe get like Game of Thrones, like your favorite like British character, and see if that elongates your vowels and helps you out.
Don't, come on.
I'm just trying to help, man.
It seems like you're not trying to help.
I am. No, I'm absolutely trying to help.
It seems like you're Camp Mohawk in Meatballs, and I'm doing a teacup race.
For two people.
A lot of gray-haired men pumping their fists right now. And by a lot, I mean two.
No. I'm definitely the evil ski instructor right now.
So
you can't make it down this slope, Dan.
Don't frazzle me.
I'm trying to help. I swear to God.
This young gentleman was, to me, absurdly defensive of the Holy Roman Empire. I thought I had seen everything. We are getting dangerously close to the day, and you'll call this an exaggeration. Some people will call this offensive in and of itself, but it feels as though we are getting dangerously close to the day when someone's finally, once and for all, going to say on the internet, I'm sick and tired of this Hitler metaphor being a can we can just kick whatever we want. Hitler this, Hitler that, like he's just the definition of bad. How do you think that makes me feel as a Hitler lover? We're getting pretty close to that because this guy was up in arms. He said,
Ours are okay.
He said, his point was that he is a Catholic churchgoer. According to his biography on Twitter, he's a glottist. What do they call themselves? Polyglot. Yes. Okay.
Who speaks multiple languages?
Yeah. One of them being Latin. He goes to Latin Mass. He's tired of this stereotype, I think, where people that speak Latin are just a bunch of assholes. And the world history idea that we all learned in world history. Maybe this is an American thing. Maybe this guy lives in Frankfurt. Maybe he lives in Rome. I don't know. But it made me think, holy cow, really anything, no sooner have you conquered something than something becomes the underdog. I was kind of not realizing that I was just using the Vatican as a whipping boy because because I thought no one could get offended. Like, but what about people who love the Vatican? There's a million of them.
There's a couple 100 million of them, I'm sure. Or a billion, yeah. So are you on the side of the Catholic Church now?
I have always been on the side of anyone who wants to atone with the unknown through a religion of their choosing. I would never want to be guilty of impinging on anyone's freedom of religion. I think that's terrible. That's why I've stood up here before, and it's been kind of weird minefield because we have a very intelligent group of kids who come to us. By the way, I love you guys. You're my kids.
Except for the 4 gray-haired guys who know meatballs.
Also my children. And I theirs. I learned from you guys. We are a happy family. I would never change a single one of you. Except Keith in the back. I'm just kidding. There's no Keith.
Are there any Keiths here tonight? Wow.
I went to Duncan Trussell's live podcast at the Improv. I talked a little bit about God there, and I got applauded for it. You guys give me a hard time. You're very atheistic, very intelligent, very skeptical people. It's very strange. I imagine there's got to be a huge overlap between Duncan's audience and this audience, right?
What did you say about God there? Maybe they would have applauded the same monologue here. Here, you came down...
No, because
you tried to start your own religion a while ago, and you were roundly booed for that. I would guess on Duncan Trussell's show, you came in a little lower than Jim Jones.
I can't... Well, speaking smoothly, I can't interject and jackhammer you out of this.
Dan, you're off the hook. You made it. Dan Harmon didn't start. That's the music that would have played if you had stuttered.
Like mocking asylum music. What was that? What was that? Boogie boogie. All right.
You made it a good, 10, 15 minutes? That was impressive.
I don't like that guy. I don't think... that seems like a boring, like old school radio.
What it was because it was so measured, it sounded really intimidating that you were holding something back that might have, you were not saying what you really meant.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was scary. I don't like... I prefer the other version.
Yeah, you want to know what's for sale here. What's going on behind my ears. No one came here because I went to broadcasting school. Yeah. I did not slave for hours, years, decades, millennia in the stand-up mines.
You notice that you haven't stuttered since we stopped.
It's like I'll do it on purpose, but whatever. But I'm just saying, like, when I want to find the words.
Yeah.
Whatever. How did we get on this? What is this?
It wasn't us making fun of you stammering. I stammer and stutter and mumble and all kinds of shit. It was an experiment.
All right.
That's not all right.
God and atheism and meatballs.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, you guys. You.
Wait. Yeah. So you're accusing this crowd of hating you loving God, or hating you hating God, or.
Our crowd has a little bit less. Duncan talks a lot about religious pursuits on his podcast. He has religious experiences. He's really into Ram Dass and eating things that make you see that sheep are watching and whatever. He reads books.
Or that mushroom Jesus thing.
Yeah, and so his crowd includes more. I think the fringe of his audience I picture as being like genuinely like almost tie-dyed in silhouette.
Tie-dyed in silhouette?
I was trying to think of tie-dyed.
That's the most poetic thing you've ever said.
I should have just said tie-dyed.
Yeah.
And then the fringe of our audience, I think, is has actual surgically augmented pointed ears. These are fringes, and I love all of those people. I don't know who of those two I love more, but those two, and sometimes you might see a really nice, fun road movie about those two having to cross the country together. They often travel in the same circles because neither of them would judge each other. But one guy is like, I beg to differ about the thing that you said the other day. I did some research myself. And then the other guy's like, yeah, that's what I keep saying. Let's get naked. No, Keith, we're not. Stop pushing your nude agenda. You look great in tie-dye. Leave it at that. And I was just like in that show, I don't know, I just kind of, we were talking about writing and the creative process. I got a little spiritual about it, and I felt less punished than I do here sometimes. It's because you're smart. I know.
Whereas Duncan Trussell's audience,
they're not the opposite of smart. I was trying to make them feel better, not make other people feel worse. I shouldn't have gone down this road. Boy, that guy that defended Latin, what an asshole.
Wait, so his angle was he's tired of having Latin kicked around the block?
Yeah, his I mean, I would happily do like if somebody could pull up the Twitter conversation, we could do like a love letters thing. But I lack the facility.